Hi everyone. I wanted to pose a question to members of the alternative media that I follow on a continual basis. And I'm going to give some specific names because there seems to be an alignment of thinking on many different fronts, but there's a subject that's not broached the way I believe it should be, and it's something that seems blindingly obvious as to a real answer to a lot of the financial mess that is in our faces and that is destroying the remainder of our economy, and it's something that, if it was implemented, could help the rest of the world economy. But let me just mention a few names first. Max Kaiser, Alex Jones, Greg Manarino, Christopher Green, Charlie McGrath, Davian Calvo, Aaron Hawkins, and I'm sure there's a few others that'll come to mind in a moment. Stefan Molyneux. But the essential question is, why aren't you people screaming from the rooftops about Glass-Steagall? Why aren't you acknowledging that the separation of investment and commercial banking would be a really healthy move? And it's one thing to adhere to a monetarist system. If I were to choose between the two schools of Keynesian economics and Austrian, of course, I think the most logical approach, the most frugal approach, the one that makes sense, is the Austrian school. But Glass-Steagall, in this separation of being able to speculate as opposed to having people their deposits being safe in commercial bank accounts, and having basically an insurance that they're not going to be stolen from, it seems to be a really good idea, something healthy. And it was after Glass-Steagall was eradicated that, of course, a lot of this disaster just exploded. But it's like the reins have to be brought in again, because if not, I see a complete, whether it's going to be covered up by a disaster of some sort, whether it's a nuke that goes off in some city, or a EMP, or I don't know, a coronal mass ejection. Very least, it's going to be a financial collapse that's going to cause a great calamity here. And I'm just saying it can be avoided. And I understand that we may be stepping on toes in order to get this re-implemented. And I know that the Congress is illegitimate at this point. Okay, I understand that. I get it. I get the fact that there's only a few people that are actually working in the interest of the American people at all. But to re-legitimize Congress, because there's, I don't know, last count was like 65 co-signers in the House. I don't know how many in the Senate with the new bill that mirrors H.R. 129. I mean, it's very possible that we could bring back Glass-Steagall. And what that means is that, you tell the bankers to take their, debt and put it where the sun doesn't shine. That's like the first miraculous gift that you can get from it. But after that, with a credit system, a National Bank of America, and this is why it's like, why aren't you guys discussing this? You can put money back into not only public projects that need to be looked at. I mean, look at the articles, for yourself on what's happening to the Colorado River and the droughts and what have you, through the United States. And then think of NWAPA. Read up on NWAPA, and also the SDE project, because with what happened with the asteroid that hit Russia not very long ago, I mean, there is technology that can be sought in order to, give some types of protections against those bodies coming in and hitting the planet. And then it doesn't even speak of how the infrastructure of the United States needs critical care. I mean, as far as like roads and bridges, the electrical grid, whatever. So you have this credit system that can fund the public sector as well as the private sector. We're talking about tens of millions of jobs. So it's like, let's get on the bandwagon for that. I mean, why not? And then it's just, looking at it as a principle, not just a monetary system, because it's more about putting creative energy into the flow of the economy. So you have scientists and engineers, hard at work with everything that needs to be figured out regarding, these projects that I've mentioned earlier. And then you just have all the labor of those that would be working on the projects. And some of them would be decades long, but, that's one of the reasons why this really needs to be implemented immediately. And most glaring is the fact that Christopher Green posed the question. He's not the first, but he posed the question recently about whether or not Obama should be, tried for treason. Well, yeah, do I know that at this point that we're all speaking about it getting further and further into deeper kimchi? Yes. It's like, it's us or them. Them meaning like the British monarchy, the fucking Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the fucking Bushes. I mean, I want to have something sane and rational happen in the United States. I don't want to go to a camp, guys. I'm too old for this shit. I need to be able to look my kids in the eye and say, I did this for you. I had the help of all these fine individuals, and we all wanted to have a vibrant America again. And let me tell you guys, my former in-laws had a multi-million-dollar lumber and hardware business that tanked in 2009. Big surprise. But this place was an icon for over 40 years, and it's something I would have never seen happen. I knew of this place, this huge private corporation owned by this family before I knew my ex-husband. And Colin Powell, the shit brain that he is, he used to shop there, And I have no respect for Colin Powell. Sorry to name drop him, but I'm just saying that there was a lot of people. Sonny Jurgensen of the Redskins, shop there, and it's just the fact that we can't have personal wealth and just wealth across the board. I mean, I really think that the credit system would not mean that people would be able to get money on the dole. I mean, people would be, money would be funneled into public projects, and people would work. And their creative energies and just their energies in general, they would earn for their families, earn for themselves, and I think it's a beautiful thing. So, I mean, I'm going to ask explicitly, where are you guys on this? I'm going to send this to the names that I've mentioned, And, hopefully there'll be some other views. But I really like an answer to the question, where are you on Glass-Steagall? Why aren't you shouting it from the rooftops? This is not about LaRouche. This is about the principle of Glass-Steagall. This is about the principle of telling, the globalists to take their debt and shove it so that we can have a vibrant economy again. This seems very elementary to me. This is not about Bitcoin. There's a lot of people who don't even have a computer still. How are they going to know about Bitcoin? There's a lot of people that can't invest. I invested in gold and silver. I've actually had to use it. I mean, I have a business now, but I invested in my business with the assets that I had from the meager equity I got out of the sale of my property up north. So it's like you just can't tell. Well, go get some gold and silver, and I'll invest in Bitcoin. No, it's not how it works. It has to. It's a policy revolution. That's what it comes down to. It's exactly how LaRouche PAC puts it. It's a policy revolution, and the momentum is already there. And if you guys were just talking about it more, then it would move. I mean, this is what we need. I really, the reason why I'm shooting this video is because I really believe that this is the healthiest program that could come back into being, and it could change the scope of America very positively once again. And I am very concerned that there is going to be something happening in the near future that's going to be bigger than the Boston bombing. And I just there's something being set up. I've heard a couple of people that I respect talk about this, and of course I want to be wrong. But you guys are smarter than me in those respects, or most times. And I have a pretty good head on my shoulders. But I'm just one person. And you guys that have audiences, you really should be talking about Glass-Steagall a lot more. You should be calling your representatives. You should be writing your representatives. And talking to LaRouche PAC, yeah. You should talk to them and listen to the passion that they have for it, because it's something that is tangible that could bring about real change. So please give me your feedback. Don't ignore this, okay? And that's really all I've got. I really hope to hear back from you. Thanks, guys.